Good morning, this is Josh, and I'm reading this morning from the book of Hebrews, chapter 3, from the Peshitta. The website's called the Holy Aramaic Scriptures.com. So, absolutely have loved reading through the New Testament using this website. You can see here it has the Aramaic script. It is, of course, a Semitic language, same family of languages as Arabic, Hebrew, Syriac, and Aramaic are very similar, and they all read from the right to the left. It looks a lot like Arabic with the letters, and even sounds. A lot of the words are similar, sounds the same. This was the spoken language of Jesus' day. Alright, let's begin. Hebrews chapter 3, verse 1. Therefore, my holy brothers, who are called with a calling from heaven, behold this Shlikha, sent one, and the Rab Kumre, the priest chief of our confession or religion, Ishu Meshikha, Yeshua the Anointed One, who was faithful unto him who produced him, as Moses, was in all his house. For much more is the praise of this one than from Moses, as much more as the honor of the builder of the house is from the house. For every house is built from mankind, but he who built everything is Allah, God. And Moses, as an abda, a slave, a servant, was faithful in all of his house, for a testimony of what was preparing to be spoken through him. Yet Meshikha, the Anointed One, as the Son, concerning his house, whose house we are, if until the end we hold firm our confidence and the glorifying of his hope. Because of this, the Ruchad Kudsha, the Spirit of Holiness, spoke, this day if you hear his voice, don't harden your hearts to provoke him, as the contentious did likewise in the day of trial, in the Madbra, the wilderness, when your fathers tempted and tried me, beholding my works 40 years. Because of this I was wearied by that generation, and spoke, peoples whose hearts wander, and who don't know my ways. So I swore in my anger, they will not enter my rest. Be careful, therefore, my brothers, lest there be in a man from you an evil heart, not believing, which departs from the living Allah, God. But inquire into this from your soul, all the time, until the day that is called today, lest there come a hardening of mankind from the deception of sin. For we are fused with Meshikha, the Anointed One, if from the beginning until the last. In this covenant we steadfastly persevere. As it is spoken, today if you hear the utterance of his voice, don't harden your hearts to anger him. For who is it who heard and angered him? Was it not all those who went out from Egypt by the means of Moses? And in whom was he wearied for 40 years? But in those who sinned, and their bones fell in the Madbra, the wilderness. And concerning whom did he swear they would not enter his rest, but about those who were not persuaded? And we see they were not able to enter because of disbelief. So I'm reading the text from the Apostolic Bible Polyglot, and it's an interlinear. It has the Greek written above and then the English. Of course, the Greek reads in the same direction as English. Let's just see what this has to say. Verse 1 of chapter 3. Whereupon, brethren holy, calling of the heavenly partakers, contemplate the apostle and chief priest of our acknowledgement offering, Christ Jesus. Othen adelphoi, agioi, klesios, apurenio, mategzoi, kata neesate, ton apostolon kai arxiaria, tes homologias, hemon Christon Jesun. Verse 2. Being trustworthy to the one appointed him, as also Moses and all his house. Piston antato poesanti, auton hos kai Moises, en allo to oiko auto. More for glory this one than Moses has been counted worthy of, on account of, as much as more honor has than the house the one carefully preparing the house. Ploienos gar daxes autos para moesen exeotai kath osan pleona timen exetau oikau o kataskiusas auton. For every house is carefully prepared by someone, but the one, the whole carefully preparing, is God. Pasgar oikas kataskiusetai hupo tinnas odeta panta kataskiosas theas. Verse 5. And Moses indeed was trustworthy in all his house, as an attendant, for a testimony of the things going to be spoken. Kai Moises min pistos en allo to oiko autu hos therapon es marturian ton la le thesomenan. But Christ as a son over his house, whose house are we, if indeed the confidence and the boasting of the hope until the end firm we should hold. Christas dehos huias epiton oikon autu au oikas esmen emmes en perten parasian kaito xuxema tes elpidas mexre telus bebean kata saromen. 3:7. Therefore, as says the Spirit Holy, today, if his voice you should hearken to, you should not harden your hearts, as in the embittering, in the day of the test in the wilderness. Me sceleranete tas cardias humon hos ento para picrosmo kataten emerantau peresmo ente erem ereo. Of which place tested me your fathers, tried me, and beheld my works 40 years. Au eperesan me, oi pateres humon, edokemasen, mekai edonta erga mau tesaracanta, ete. 3:10. Therefore I loathed that generation, and said continually, they err in the heart, and they knew not my ways. Dio prasegs thesa te genia ekene kai epon, ai palanontai te cardia autude auk egnosantes tas odus mau. 3:11. As I swore by an oath in my wrath, shall they enter into my rest? No. Hos homosa ente egen arge mau e eselesantai esten catapusen mau. Take heed, brethren, lest at any time there shall be in some of you in heart a wicked unbelief, in the separating from the living God. Blepete adelphoi, mepate estai entine, homon cardia panera, epistias ento apastenai, apotheo xantos. But encourage yourselves according to each day, as long as of which today it is called, that you should not be hardened, any of you, any by the deception of sin. Alla paraklete, eutois, kath ekesten, emeran exres, auto semeron kaletai, hinname sclerante, tis ex humontis abate, tes amartias. 3:14. Partakers, for we have become of the Christ, if indeed the beginning of the support until the end firm we should hold. Metexoi, gar gigonamen, tau Christu, eneper ten argzen tes hypostasios, mexere, telus bebean, kata skomen. As in the saying today, if his voice you should hearken to, you should not harden your hearts, as in the embittering. Ento legestai, semeron iantes phones autu, accusete, me scelerontente, tas cardias humon os ento parapicrosom, semmo, parapicresmo. For some, having heard, rebelled, but not all the ones coming forth out of Egypt with Moses. Tidnesgar accusantes, parapicranan, al pantes, oi exultantes, ex iuguptaudia Moses. Did he loath 40 years? Was it not the ones having sinned whose carcasses fell in the wilderness? Tisede prasoxethese, tesaracanta, ete ugzi tois amaratesasen onta kola epesen enti eremo. Very interesting. It's fun to read it in different languages and see what jumps out at you, isn't it? So this was the biblical Greek that we're reading. And I'm going to stop there because I'm out of time, but I hope you'll think about this text. It's quite a warning, actually, about who Jesus is, actually hearing about who he is and hearing the voice of God's Spirit and then denying it. It's just a warning against unbelief. So there's some encouraging things here, and then there's also some really a grave warning here. But I find it very encouraging, very hopeful that in fact God still speaks to us. Have a wonderful day.